If you're interested in buying Fallout 76 caps, weapons or items, check out easynpc.com and use my code DTDG for 5% off via the link in the description. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel. In the comments of a previous video, I was asked by Trippin to check out the perk Demolition Expert and test whether it is useful or not with explosive weapons. Massive shout out to him for the suggestion. If anyone else has any other suggestions, feel free to comment them down below. Now in this video I will be testing out the perk using two different weapons, a Furious Explosive Handmade and an Instigating Explosive Lever Action Rifle. Before we jump in though, if you find this video helpful or enjoyable, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. So first up, to cover my back before I make a stupid little mistake like I did in the last test, the Legendary Explosive effect is meant to add a 20% bonus damage on your weapon's base damage. So if your gun's base damage is 100, it should be doing around 20 damage per shot. Now in the last test, I tested Commando and Adrenaline and used the damage shown in the Pip-Boy. Don't do that, it's wrong. But each weapon has a set base damage, and that's what these perks are based off. For example, the weapons I'm using today, the Handmaid's base damage is 45 and the lever action is 75, as shown and proved in the Fallout wiki. So if you've got a problem with that, go complain to them, not me. So technically speaking, with no buffs, the handmaid should get like 9 explosive damage and the lever action should get like 15. But does it really though? We will find out. So first up, let's test out one of my favourite weapons, and that is the Furious Explosive Handmade with +1 perception. It's one of my favourite for the fact that when I'm min-maxing, this thing does like over 200 damage, and it's just all round a fun gun to use when I'm farming. That 200 damage as well, it's not even bloodied and it's doing over 200 damage, so it's pretty fantastic. So first up, this is how much damage the gun does just day to day wandering around, not using Demolition Expert, just my standard bloodied stealth commando build, which I copied off Ratty's Star. If you want to check that out, go check out Ratty, he's got a video on it and stuff like that, so go check that out. As you can see, with the smaller number, it does between like 8 and 19 extra damage per shot. Not too bad, but that's using the likes of like Nerd Rage, Tenderizer, Bloodied Mess. So let's test it out with no perks on at all. Using no perks, we get an absolutely massive drop. Now, the explosive damage is getting somewhere between like 3 to 6 damage. Not quite the 20% we're supposed to be getting, but that's probably down to some change that got changed in the last nerf, which I just have clearly missed, or maybe they just haven't announced it, who knows. Next, I added on Demolition Expert Rank 1 and kept no perks on. This should give us an extra 20% explosive damage, and as you can see, we got a decent increase. Instead of getting like 3 to 6, we're now getting between 6 and 12 damage per shot for the sake of 1 perk point. Not bad, considering that's like doubling it for the sake of 1 like per point. That's pretty decent. Then I wanted to bump it up further, so I kept using no other perks and invested 4 points into Demolition Expert, which then bumped the explosive damage to a minimum of 10 and maxing out at like 20 extra damage per shot. Now that's with no extra buffs, just simply Demolition Expert Rank 4. It might not sound like much, but when you think the main damage, I was only doing like 50 to 80 damage, and then getting that explosive damage on top of that, which accounts for like nearly 25% bonus damage when it hits like 20. So that's a pretty decent number when you look at it that way. Now that I could see the perk card was clearly having like a really decent effect, I threw all of the perk cards back on that I normally use, but this time I added Demolition Expert Rank 4 on for the 50% bonus on the explosive damage, and I didn't actually add Nerd Rage back on. Later on in the end, I do test the two of them together, so stay tuned for that, it gets pretty crazy. Now with all the perks back on, my explosive damage shot up to do a minimum of 17 per shot with a peak of 37 per shot. And that isn't even min-max, that's just standard at about 30% health. Comparing that now to where we started off, it's now doing like double the damage it was when we weren't using Demolition Expert. So clearly the perk is having like an awesome effect. It's now doing a lot more damage, and considering how damage got nerfed not so long ago, I will happily take an extra 37 damage per shot. Especially after finding out in the last test video that investing 9 perk points into Commando only gives you an extra 28 damage per shot. You know, it's not ideal, is it, really? If you didn't know that, check out the last test on the Commando and Adrenaline perk. It's pretty interesting and stuff. Yes, I did get the little mistake wrong, but get over it. But yeah, you can go check it out. So after doing these tests, I then messaged Ratty and he told me to go check out the damage on single shot weapons, since they deal obviously like more damage per hit them being single shot and not automatic. Luckily, I had a beautiful instigating explosive lever action, which was due for a day out, and I thought, why not give it some fresh air? Now remember, the base damage of a level 45 lever action is 75, so 20% explosive damage bonus on top of that should be like 15 damage per shot as standard. This time I jumped straight in and tested it with 0 perks on, which then I was doing between 7 and 18 damage per shot on the super mutants. It also did like 32 damage on the super mutant hounds. That's literally just explosive damage, and that's pretty decent. Especially when you compare it to the handmade, but there's definitely room for improvement. This time, because I spent my perk points on leveling up Demolition Expert and I didn't really kind of want to waste any more, I jumped straight in again using no perks, but I had a Demolition Expert rank 4 on for the 50% bonus. The damage then shot up and I was doing like between 28 and 47 explosive damage per shot, and that, like I said, was with no perks apart from the Demolition Expert rank 4. A pretty decent amount in my opinion. After that I stuck all of my perks back on, but obviously switching out Commando with Riflemen. This made the numbers jump up even higher and it was starting to get a bit mad. I was now doing like between 49 and 65 bonus damage per shot just from the explosive effect. I also did 85 damage on a mutant hound. So then I thought, just for a laugh and just to push this even further, I thought, how can I do even more damage? So I popped on a few toxic goos to get me radiation down, so I was doing extra damage. I leveled up the legendary intelligence perk, threw on Nerd Rage at level 3, added Demolition Expert at rank 5 this time, and then it just went absolutely nuts. I started doing between 55 and 87 explosive damage every shot on high level super mutants. On the mutant hounds I was getting like over 130 damage per shot, and on the turret I got 142 explosive damage. This was absolutely mad. Like guys, if you're struggling dealing damage, or just want to boost up your damage numbers in general, use Demolition Experts, use an explosive weapon. Like, this is crazy. Obviously, there is some things like the Queen where it's not meant to be as effective, but all-round farming, get it on, guys. Like, this is absolutely insane. These numbers that we're getting is just, wow. So there it is. There is my test. For me, definitely use it. It is absolutely phenomenal if you are wanting to use explosive weapons. Obviously, if you're not using explosive weapons, don't waste your time. But if you've got one and you want to use it, get this perk on. It is absolutely brilliant. I'd 100% recommend it. Now, before I end the video, I do have a couple of points before people start crying in the comments like they did last time. Number 1, yes, I had legendary perks on. Yes, a couple of them may have little effects, but nothing mad. I didn't have the explosive ones on or anything like that. Number 2, yes, I could have used an enemy that was kind of like one set level to get an exact number to make it more accurate, but meh, whatever. Number 3, yes, I had a Furious Handmade, which I did the first test on. That means each shot it would be doing slightly more damage per like consecutive shot on the same target, but it didn't make that much bloody difference, so get over yourself. Number 4, critical feedback is always welcome. Don't be a crybaby or have a go at me about some little daft picky thing. I honestly couldn't care less. I had fun with this and I think it's a helpful video. If you disagree, unlucky. Feel free to review what I've done in a positive and critical manner and I will happily make changes for the next one. Just like I did in this one, going off like what I got told and stuff off my previous test. So I'm happy to always make improvements. Like, without you guys seeing and picking apart what I do, I wouldn't be able to improve. It's just them stupid muppets that come in and be like, oh, you did this wrong. You are terrible. You are a disgrace. Stuff like that. Like, get a bloody grip, you bloody wallies. Never mind. Anyways, for the rest of you who have enjoyed this, or that I have helped out, thank you for watching, guys. I am wanting to do more of these videos, like I said, so if there's any suggestions, let me know in the comments or through Discord, whichever one's best for you. And if you want to help me out, consider giving the video a share or hitting that, and hitting that like button. That'd be better. If you did both, that'd be amazing. Thank you. But if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe. You know, why not? It's free. You help support me and make me a happy guy. So yeah, put a smile on my face. Hit that button if you haven't already. And the rest of you, I will catch you all next time. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. Goodbye. Bye-bye.